What's going on in sports? Five takes, no fraud. Coach Jack on the mic, hit the crowd. Yes, Lord. From the field to the mic, Coach Jack gon' lead. Motivation, dedication, that's all that we need.
Coach Jack in the building, bringing voice to the game. Breaking down the plays, not just stats, wisdom in the name. Kenwood pride on the mic and hot takes. Everything gets real. From locker room talk to the coach on the block. Those Migos network, yeah, we never gon' stop. Unfiltered, with the knowledge to applaud. Say it with your chest, fam. Yes, sir. What's going on in sports?
What's good, folks? Welcome to this week's episode of What's Going On in Sport, featuring yours truly, Coach Jack. And, of course, I got my friends with me today, my man Fox and Big Tony. Introduce yourself, fellas.
What's good, man? You already know what time it is, man. It's your boy Fox coming in for another episode to talk about some sports. Say what's on our mind, let out some feelings, let out some thoughts.
What's up, everybody? It's your boy Tony from Dos Migos. Don't forget to stop in Taco Tuesday.
All right, fellas. So, this week in sports, we got a lot to tackle today, man. Some interesting topics to talk about. The game within the game, so to speak. So, first thing first, I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for all the reactions for the last couple of weeks. Like I said, man, we're in our empty stages and we are building something great here. So, continue to like, share, follow, comment, give me the critiques. All things are welcome here. If I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it right. So, I appreciate that first and foremost. So, we're going to jump right into these hot takes. First one in quarter one. You guys follow college football. Now, because of your last name, you can get a lot of advantages. We do know that's how the world works now, unfortunately. Budding topic in college football, Arch Manning. Is he the real deal future of sports? So let's be fair and be clear. He's only played 2 games. He's thrown 5 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, QBR of 63.0. He's ranked 56 at quarterback in the NCAA. But because his last name is Manning. Now, full transparency, Peyton Manning is my absolute favorite quarterback of all time. I've said that many times publicly. And I'm not saying that this kid can't be, but, you know, when you start using terms like generational talent and things like that, I gotta slow you guys down. So, what's your guys' take on Arch Manning? Like, I mean, do you guys think that this is really a generational talent? Like, is he that good, or does he still have some proving to do?
I got a lot of mixed feelings on this. One, he has to prove himself. The reason why I say he has to prove himself, it's no way the first game of the season you play against Ohio State, the defending champions, and your defense hold them to 14 points, and you can't at least tie the game. I got at least put that in it. That's something that LiLi, either his grandfather would do, and even his uncle would do, Peyton Manning would do, where you at least get your team in position to win the game. That's all I can say far as that first part of the game, far as that part of the game, because I always find it interesting when you that close when it comes to a game, 7-14, and you can't pull out to even tie the game or to go to overtime. So I would say on that, he definitely need to clean it up. 2, the generational talent, they jumping the gun a little bit. It is because of the last name situation. However, when I checked out these 2 games that he played, technically, he's supposed to have 5 touchdowns and only 1 pick. The last interception he do last week was on some trying to be some super-duper type guy, something that you would have got mad at. He threw a 50-50 ball in double coverage, and he got picked off. Now, this is where I like to say things that are confusing, but they mean well. Last year in high school, and I'm not going to make it seem like a high school player could be on the same level as an NFL player. However, last year in high school, his last year in high school, he looked like Lamar Jackson. He had 34 touchdowns and 2 picks. I don't care what league you in, that's incredible. He played in college. He played in high school for 4 years. In 4 years, he gave you over 100 touchdowns. That's what you want. He never had a season where he threw 10 interceptions. That's definitely what you need. And he had 2 seasons over 30-plus touchdowns. I mean, that's good, especially in the high school level. So I see the potential that they're talking about, but I'm not sure that I'm ready to say that he's going to be like LiLi and Peyton just yet. Let's let the season play out. Let's not forget last year he was a freshman. He only played a couple snaps. He only played in like 9 games last year. And we already know they was probably when it was blowouts or when teams wanted to do get and gadgets and things like that. But overall, let it play out. Let it play out. That's all I got to say, because I don't see no Peyton Manning just yet.
Okay, so let me say this. All great and fascinating points, right? But when you go back and talk about like the high school stats, which they are great stats, being a high school coach, all talent is not created equal. So some things you are supposed to do. in certain games versus that. Oh, case in point, I'll give you a perfect example. So right now, like the top schools and currently in high school football are like teams like Dunbar or something like that. You know what I mean? Like when you talk about Dunbar, if Dunbar is playing, let's say, who's a pretty bad school and they're still developing. Let's say Long Reach High School, no pun intended, because we did play them yesterday. Long Reach has only been in existence since 1996. They don't consistently have like good seasons. They're not good. So if a team like Dunbar matches up with a team like Long Reach, Dunbar's supposed to put up 40, 50, and 60 points. Like we look at those things, the stat sheets, and we get ooh and ah because it's 60 points, because it is hard to do, because the game still has to be played. I wholeheartedly get that. But when you don't have a lot of talent here and an abundance of talent here, and they go head to head, they're supposed to win. So when you look at Arch Manning's school, they were a talented school. Like that's a talented program. So I'm pretty sure every team that they played weren't like marquee worthy. Like, yeah, it's powerhouse versus powerhouse from week 1 to week 9. I don't know how many games they play in Texas.
I would have to look that up, but I'm pretty sure he wasn't playing against Squirrels. I'm just saying, I mean, that's messed up. Well, first of all, we all know this. You're not in charge of who you play. So we gotta put that out there.
No, I'm not saying it is. I'm just saying in general, like when we look at the stats, like I only base things and I narrow it down to the actual competition is basically what I basically said. Well, I didn't state that point, but that's why I brought the point up. I think sometimes we get caught by just like the box score and total, like, oh, he put up this amount of yards. But then we never look at the other side of the coin to see like what was the opposition like, that they ranked dead last in pass defense. You know what I'm saying? Like, so again, if you have a 500-yard game and you put the ball in the air, you got 500 yards in passing yards, but then it's like it wasn't against the top-ranked passing defense. That's more impressive than saying he got 500 passing yards against, you know what I mean? Like,
I got you on that, but do we actually know who he was playing against, though? To be
and that's the point, because we don't know. I don't put so much stock into put him up.
No,
so quick.
No, I didn't do that.
Not you. I'm saying, but there are people that are doing that based upon those stats that you brought up.
Yeah, that's why I said don't jump the gun, because mind you now, like I said, I call out everything. Mind you now, even though he had a season with 34 touchdowns and 2 picks, that was the least amount of times he threw the ball. So when I looked at stats, that was the year that running game was on point. So it made me think, how did he have 34? How he have his most passing touchdowns, but his least amount of yards and what's name? So I had to look at it like it was basically the running game. So my basic point is, he has a chance, but don't jump the gun, because I haven't seen, like I said, I haven't even seen anything that's Eli Manning and shit. And we all know Peyton is better than Eli, so I haven't seen that.
Yeah, what do you think about that, Tony? I mean,
I'm for the hype. You know, I guess I got drawn into the whole Manning name, and I'm rooting. I'm on the bandwagon for rooting for Archie. You know,
I appreciate your honesty, because nobody would ever admit that. You're rooting for him because his last name is Manning. Like, that's the whole thing. Is the nostalgia of it. Like, oh, it's another addition to the generation that we can cheer for years to come. And that's what a lot of people publicly are doing. Like,
but just to play devil's advocate right here, Shiloh Sanders and Shedeur Sanders is nice, but aren't we doing the same thing for them?
Absolutely not. No, absolutely not. It's different. Shedeur, no. You said Shiloh. I'm not talking about Shiloh. Shedeur can actually play the game.
But hold on, I didn't say he couldn't play. What I said was, I said both of them can play. But I say, aren't we doing the same thing? Like, there's people right now.
I don't think we are. Have you watched Shedeur play? Shedeur can actually command an offense.
I want people please to get exactly what I'm saying, because the first thing I said was both of these guys can play. So I'm not saying we only watch them because they're last name. What I am saying, however, is they get more support because of their last name. Think about this. How many people watching the Cleveland Browns because his name is Shedeur Sanders?
I disagree. Here's why. Because here's the thing. When you watch Shedeur in college, nobody was saying the same thing about, his last name. They were saying the fact that he could actually play. We're talking about analysts who don't even like Prime, but have to admit because of their job that he is good. Nobody is saying that about Arch Manning. Nobody. It's simply because his last name. Only 2 games in. That's the difference. So again, to the point of when you said, are we doing that for both of them? No, we're absolutely not doing it for both of them. Shedeur can actually play. Shiloh, if anybody wants to make that argument, cool. I won't argue with that at all. But Shedeur can actually play.
The thing is, right, I'm not arguing and saying he can't play. I'm saying whether he has the last name or not, he can play. And he won't have to.
If he didn't have the last name Sanders, they would still be saying, bro, listen.
I'm saying what I'm saying, but I think you let me get what I'm saying. I'm saying the same thing you're saying. Whether his last name is Sanders or not, he's going to get recognition. What I'm saying is all of us in the world for real are really paying attention to him even more because of who his father was.
Yeah, but the question you asked was, aren't we doing the same thing for Shador? We're not. We're not. If Shador's last name was Smith, he was still doing that, and he still had them numbers, and they were still watching him, and he was still ranked amongst the top 3 draft picks, and he slipped to the 5th because this boys club or whatever, but that's another conversation altogether.
So you think his name, if his name was Shador Johnson, he would
Absolutely, because
hold on, the Cleveland Browns jersey sales would be up.
absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely, because at the end of the day, listen, let's be totally clear. Jackson Dart is a popular name, and nobody knew him from Ole Miss. And a lot of people in New York bore his name because, again, they didn't pick Shador because they was, again, I don't want to get into the other underlying conversation. What I'm saying is because it was Jackson Dart. Who the fuck knows Jackson Dart? And that's the point that I'm making.
God damn, Jackson Dart, nice. That's crazy.
No, listen.
Not?
I'm not saying he's not nice. He wasn't as good as Shador.
Look at the numbers.
He wasn't as good as Shador. Look at the numbers. He wasn't as...
And I looked at the numbers. He got the same amount of yards as him, the same amount of touchdowns, at least. If you go look at it right now, go look at that numbers last year.
Bosh, you're missing the point. This is what I'm saying. Okay, not Jackson Dart. You name a quarterback that picked it, that came in within the top 32 drafted. Again, Cam Ward was somebody that was equally, he was the number 1 overall, and he comes from the Hurricanes. I believe he was legitimately the only quarterback that was actually better than Shador in this draft.
Okay, I can give you that.
So the point that I'm making is this: none of these guys outside of Shador do you know. But again, besides his last name being Sanders, and I'm not trying to hijack the conversation to get off Arch Manning because that's what we're actually talking about. But the question that I asked was, is it more so because he's really that good? He's actually the generational talent? Or is it because of his last name? Yes, it's purely because of his last name. I think we all 3 just agreed on that. But in terms of numbers, when we talk, with the example that we gave was Shador Sanders, you asked, aren't we doing the same thing for Shador? And I said, no. If Shador's last name was Smith, he was still garner that attention because he actually was able to play and change both teams. Not because he didn't just start at Colorado. He did the same shit in Jackson.
And people was watching Jackson because of that last name. Let's be real. Was anybody worried about those 2 colleges we talking about if it wasn't for South?
I'm not disagreeing with that point. I'm talking about gameplay. That's the difference. That's the difference.
I'm not comparing that gameplay. I know Shador played better.
No, but you just agreed to say that. Oh, when I said Jackson Dart, you just agreed that he was just as good. He was not. He was not. Jackson Dart was not as good as Shador.
Even though their numbers was matching. For year.
Numbers can be misleading. He was not as good as Shador because he made a lot of mistakes that analysts talked about too, and they swept that under the rug on draft day. But that's another conversation. What do I know, right?
No, I'm just saying it's a lot of information getting left out right there. If you throw for 45,000 yards, 24 touchdowns and 5 picks, and then I do it too, and they talk about you better than me, I'm kind of finding it confusing. We did the same exact thing. Both played for great colleges and represented. Both our teams wasn't bums. I think, to me, in my opinion, first of all, Shador shouldn't have got it drafted in the round he did. He should have been drafted way higher. And I think even that, he got...
Steelers and the Giants shit the bed.
Exactly. Even other teams should have still picked him up because he that great. I'm just saying this. I believe what you're saying. I'm not disagreeing with that. He is talented. He can play. I'm just saying a lot of us, especially us black people, we definitely was like, yo, that's Shador. That's our Deion son. Oh, yeah, I'm going to rock with him and see what he do, whether he do good or bad. Same thing with LeBron James' son. People should support LeBron James' son because of his name. And we all know.
I don't think that was the case with that. I think that's a different situation. They talk about nepotism. But again, I don't want to make it to another time. But so here's the other crazy part too. So when I look at when they compare these talents in regards to like how good you are, when you think of generational talent, like I could say Joe Burrow was a generational talent. And LSU, you just seen a superstar quality in him in terms of arm talent overall. And granted, that's not his fault that he had, a Jamar Chase and a Justin Jefferson to throw it to, you know what I mean? Because I think they both were equally proven that they were also generational talents. So a lot of factors do go into that conversation. However, specifically when it comes down to Arch Manning, who has not done anything for you to just start throwing it out there. And again, President Manning, last name. And of course, there's no disrespect to the Manning family. I'm just saying, let this kid develop. Let him be what he's going to be. You know what I mean? Like, I think we just kind of get into the nostalgia of it all, and then boom, we get stuck there. So,
that's one of your phones. That's one of your phones. Somebody phone ring?
Oh, that's the time.
Oh yeah.
Oh snap!
I was
tripping for a second. So, my bad, guys. A little technical difficulties there. We're going to keep it moving.
But with Archie Manning, what do y'all think? He gonna keep that number 16?
I think you should become who you be.
Yeah, check your own identity. Shit. I mean, as far as that's the number he got, I mean, he's a sophomore, so I mean, you got to earn your keep.
Mhm.
Most times,
fell because his brothers. One of them is 18.
Peyton and Eli's 10.
I mean, Peyton changed his number. Peyton was 19 in Tennessee. He didn't have 18 in Tennessee. I think he was number 19.
No, it might.
But he changed his number when he got to the league to 18. So I mean, really, if I'm being honest, I don't think the number matters. And 18 was the number, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know what number he wore at
So
was it Nice High School? I think it's called Nice.
His son?
No, Peyton.
Peyton? Yeah, I don't know. I ain't gonna lie.
I'm not sure, but I mean, sometimes players do that. They go back to the number that they wore in high school. Like Aaron Rodgers did that. He went back to number 8. That he wore at college. So
right, you're right.
He was number
12.
12 in Green Bay for so long, and then when he left and went to the Jets, he went back to his college number. So I mean, I don't think that's as important as can you play. You know what I'm saying?
And one more thing about Archie.
Yes.
Do you think he's gonna stay with his original team as long as his other brothers, or is he gonna get paid?
You mean his uncles? Ain't this his uncles? His
yeah,
uncles.
His uncles.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, he's in college. I don't think he's one.
And when
He told me when he get to the NFL. He told me when he get to the
is he
NFL.
gonna?
Oh, is he gonna be a journeyman? Again, his career as a player. So I don't want to put that unfair pressure on that young man because again, we don't know what he can actually do. That, but again, no. Listen, why are we laughing in his humors? These are the conversations people start having about his future. He ain't even out of college yet, and we talking about if he gonna bounce around in the league when he get there because we automatically assume that he's going to the league.
Oh, yeah.
That's the very reason why we having a conversation. We don't even know if this kid gonna be good enough where somebody be like, "Yeah, man, we want him."
And a long shot question: what team you think he'll go and make the man in name? Because he not gonna go to that. You think?
I'm
wouldn't.
gonna tell you that.
Denver or Giants.
I got a good one for you. This quarterback is getting old, and I love this coach. I can see him going to the Rams, and then he turned into something. I can see him going down there with Sean McVay.
Guys, do we know how college and the draft works? The team has to be bad. And we cannot see 3 years, because this season just started. You can't see 3 years in the future. Let this boy grow up and play the game. Let this boy grow up and play the game.
I'm saying like if they
He ain't win the Heisman. We just gonna wait. We just gonna wait. You go.
No, I get the hypothetical conversation, but I'd be feeling like that'd be so unfair to some of these players because again, some of them succumb to that pressure and they fold. So again, publicly, he got to hear all the talking heads on mainstream media. Shit, he might come across this podcast and hear Big Tony like, yeah, what team do you think I got? Now he like processing this like, damn, I got to go and make them better. Well, whatever. I don't know what these kids like. Yeah,
Gotta go make them better.
most kids are mentally not up to specs, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's maybe he's 20, 21. I don't know how old he is. I would presume he's very early 20s. Let him develop. You know what I mean? Like, I'm pretty sure he has 2 good mentors to learn from. Well, 3 if you count his grandfather. You know what I mean? Got plenty of good mentors and all that kind of stuff. Let him develop. Let's give him some grease and develop. But as far as generational talent, let's kick back with all that mumbo jumbo and let him play. All right, so interesting story. Let's go back in time. My Ravens took a loss to the Bills, man. That hurt. During that game, Lamar Jackson throws a touchdown to DeAndre Hopkins. One hand, we all know what happened, and everybody goes crazy. The offense runs to the end zone to celebrate with him. They go to the out of bounds to try to get back to the sideline, and the fans in the stands around. As D-Hop is coming through, he pushes his head. D-Hop thinks nothing of it because, it's not unusual for fans to pat your head in celebration, but you're in Buffalo, so I don't think D-Hop ever looked up. If I remember the clip correctly, I don't think D-Hop ever looked up. But that same fan goes to double up and push Lamar's helmet. Lamar sees him and retaliates, pushes him back. So this talking period right here, where I really want to get you guys' thoughts on the fans and their mix up with the players. Now, I will say this. I don't like it one bit because players do get it kind of harshly because they're held to a different standard, so much bigger and strong and everything like that. But the players are not the only ones that know that. The fans know that too. If I'm sitting courtside and I'm all of 5 feet tall, 110 pounds, and I'm going to talk some shit to Russell Westbrook, who is about that life, that is a possibility I could get the shit kicked out of me. Why would I even take that chance? Because you paid the price of admission for the ticket? Does that really give me the right to interject myself into the game while this man is trying to make a living to feed his family, I think that's a little horse crap. And this happened more than one time. I was just giving another example outside of that because it happens in multiple sports. What's you guys take on that?
You should bring back the tomatoes and start throwing tomatoes at the players.
You are bugging. You are bugging. And of course, I know you trolling right now, but like, that's wild.
For me, I said this on my sports podcast, and I may get a disagreement here, and I'm cool with that. But I feel like this: for now on, when you buy your ticket, don't you know how they write instructions on the back of why you shouldn't eat foods and this, that, and the third? At the bottom of your ticket, it says if you violate any players, you will face the same type of problems, same type of punishment that they face. You're going to be barred from games. You will be locked up. You will pay fines. You will not be able to see your goddamn Eagles play unless it's on the Fox 45. That's how I think it should be. I mean, we talking about, number one, you talking trash about DeAndre Hopkins, but I guarantee you if you've seen him in person, you want an autograph. That's one. The second thing is, I guarantee you if you've seen DeAndre Hopkins in person and see how big he was, you wouldn't say half of the shit that you're saying, and you wouldn't put your hands on him at all because you know what he'd do to you. 3, I definitely find it unfair, and I'm glad I didn't see any reports, but I hope they do not fine Lamar Jackson. But I'm tired of that right there.
He didn't get a fine.
You see that right there? That's what I'm tired of. You sticking up for yourself and you getting fined. I don't care what nobody says or what no description they try and give to me. He basically got in trouble for defending one of his brothers. We talk about this a lot in the football world, that this is a family unit, this is a family-oriented type of
thing.
But
it wasn't Hopkins. He the fan wanted to put his hands on Lamar as well.
No, I mean, I think he still would have. I ain't gonna lie. To me, if somebody would hit you, Jack, I'm gonna hit that fan. Me and you are the same thing. I'm gonna hit that fan. This is just me. I've seen Jermaine O'Neal do it, Steven Jackson. But back to the point, what I'm saying is, we can't keep one. I know we got to protect the shield. I know we got to do all this professionalism, this, that, and third. But we got to act like we're human. First of all, we got to deal with the fact that there are home fans that don't like us. Think about that, how that can be upsetting and can be a play on your psyche. You play for the Cleveland Browns and people don't like you because you dropped the pass last week. You got to deal with that psyche. Then you play for the Cleveland Browns. I'm just using for example. You come into Baltimore and they already talking about how you playing bad. Now somebody bringing up your relationship. Now somebody bringing up something going on off the field and things like that. So that's more distraction right there. Then after those distractions, somebody has the right to put their hands on you. And then when you act bad and go into the stands, you get fined. They just overlook all that, or you probably get suspended because you got to get taught to control yourself and this, that. We got to act like we're humans at the end of the day. Like, I'm all for the trash talking. I'm all for the conversation that you're going to have on a baseball field, on a court, all between the lines. But when you start getting disrespectful, and taking it, it's no longer sport no more. Like, come on, hitting somebody upside the head is no longer sport no more. Because he scored a touchdown. He already, if you saw it, he caught a great catch, probably going to be the catch of the season. He caught a great catch and got smacked by 2 guys. That was his punishment right there. Now, because he wasn't even trolling, I saw it. DeAndre Hopkins walked past, you hit him upside the head. Then you go and hit Lamar Jackson. For what? What's the purpose in all that? And as I said, if Lamar Jackson would have dragged his ass off the goddamn seats and they would have duffed his ass, now we talking about our favorite.
So, all right, that's where we crossed the line. Now, I'll say this. I agree with you. You put your hands on me, he a shove for a shove. Dragging him out the stands, that's OD. Let the law handle that. That's the difference. Like, some people, like, I get what you're saying and you speaking, for yourself, and I can't tell you that you right or wrong for how you feel in terms of that. What I'm saying is this. You are not a part of what is happening on the field. That is the difference. You are not a part of what's happening on the field. So again, now, here's the part where I respectfully disagree with you on. The psyche of a player does matter, but that's what you have to deal with as a player. You are now a public figure. So what they say about me on ESPN, whether it's true or not, I got to deal with that because I'm a public figure. I'm in the public eye. Fan mail, all that kind of stuff. Hey, I'm not saying it's right, but at the end of the day, because I'm a public figure and a lot of stuff about me is public record and people are going to find out where I am and how to contact me. They're going to say stuff about me on social media. That comes with the territory. I can't get mad at that. But you cross the line when you put your hands on me. That's where I 100% agree. I'm human. You don't put your hands on me. You don't like me? You can say what you want. Put your hands in your pocket.
So my question is, because you said you disagree with. So when they hit personal shit like your mother just passed away and they have done it before.
I'm not saying it's right, but at the end of the day, words. He didn't put his hands on my person. Your feelings might be hurt. Let's be clear. We human. Your feelings might be hurt. But at the end of the day, I'm going to be the one that faces charges if I grab this person that was sitting in first row because my mom just passed or my mom's sick and they say some cruel shit.
No, I ain't saying that. No, I wasn't saying like put your hands on somebody's foot. I'm saying like far as trash talk, it should always stay between the lines of what we're doing, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, wrestling.
I get that. Are you talking about player to player or fan to player? That's what we're talking about.
No, I'm even talking about because like how you said, you're not on the field, so I'm definitely talking to the fans. It shouldn't be no way, Jack, you scored the game winning touchdown, but such and such your family just passed away. What is that? That don't have nothing.
Listen, I'm not saying it's right, but the players still don't get the right to do nothing.
No, I ain't saying do nothing.
Walk away. That's all you can do.
Yeah, we're on the same level. I'm not saying do nothing. I'm just saying we need to learn how to control this sports talk, like to keep things between lines. Like, yo, your personal life, I get it. It could be a distraction, but I should not be bringing up your wife, your kids, your grandmother, your what's her name. Like, I even felt,
you're right.
I with the Adrian Peterson shit. You know, it was people that, even though he might have did it, people that was up there disrespecting him, not caring about his season, talking about your old kid beater and this, that, and that. I'm sitting up here like, yo, this dude just came back from an ACL. Now we talking about, but I mean,
you gotta look at the social climate we live in. It's cool to be disrespectful, and at the end of the day, I don't think that's gonna change. So at the end of the day, the players is on the players to control your emotions. Because again, I'm not about to be sitting in this seat be like, yeah, fans need to control their emotions. They do, but so do players. We still grown ass men. Listen, specifically being a professional athlete. More specifically football, we get paid to play a violent game. I definitely got to regulate that because I don't want that to bleed into my home. I'm a running back. I get paid to stiff on people like a quick jab and knock them on their ass. But when I get mad at my son for failing his English report, do I give him the same treatment? No, I got to have control. So again, we can't just differentiate and separate the two. No, as a man, as a human being, I'm a coach. I get mad. I'm a parent. I get mad all the same. In my profession, in my regular walk of life, I get mad, I get angry, I feel stuff, right? How I act when I feel what I feel, that is the difference. Regardless of where I am. If I'm in the field of play and I'm coaching on the sideline, yes, I might say a few expletives out my mouth. It's not from a place of harm to the kid, it just came out bad. Hey, sit your ass down. What the hell are you doing? Blah, 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 blah. Whatever I may say in that moment, right? And I'm projecting at the kid. That doesn't mean I hate this young man. That doesn't mean that at all. I've had exchanges with grown men and the refs. You know that was a bullshit call, ref. I'm going to get the flag, but it wasn't personal. I don't know that man to have a personal judgment of him. I'm not going to insult him. He may feel berated at that time because I probably did lean on him pretty hard because it was a shitty call and he made a shitty call. Or maybe he doesn't know. Maybe he feel like he was just for making that call. Either way, you have to control what you feel and how those things happen. That's what I'm saying in terms of the fan. You impulsively just jump out and you push DeAndre Hopkins and you push Lamar Jackson. And then when Lamar Jackson pushes you, man, you victim. He's not supposed to do that. You weren't supposed to do what you did. And as I was told as a little kid, fair exchange, no robbery. We did the same thing. We had the same outcome. He didn't like it when you did it, and you ain't gonna like it when he do it. So don't do it. How about both of us not do that? So, yes. I mean, and again, there are countless examples. As a matter of fact, you just brought out one, the Malice in the Palace. Back in, what was that, 04, 05? Mm-hmm. The Indiana Pacers and the Detroit Pistons having the game. They got chippy in the game. The fans went and involved themselves throwing a drink on Ron Artest. The fans of Detroit threw drink on Ron Artest. Him, Steven Jackson, Jermaine O'Neal went and proceeded to beat the brakes off of these fans. In terms of whether it was justified, I wholeheartedly agree with defending yourself within reason. Going into the stands because you don't know who did it because it did come out that Ron Artest beat up the wrong guy. Mm-hmm. And I'm pretty sure if it was even in that vicinity, I'm pretty sure that guy was like, I should whip the guy who was sitting next to me's ass because I took an ass whipping that he deserved. Now, we can laugh about it years later. However, looking in all seriousness, a lot of them people sustain bad injuries because these professional athletes, they big, strong, and fast. They work out every day. They're in a different shape than a regular civilian that paid the price of admission. So again, I definitely say that the people that own these arenas, where they host these games, the organizations and everybody needs to have protocols in place where with all the technology now with facial recognition, you can recognize who was sitting in this seat, where it came from, watch all these cameras and everything like that. Surely you can nip this in the bud to get these people names and everything like that to actually ban them from the game and have. Bro, if the airports can do it and have a blacklist for TSA, you ain't gonna tell me what the way technology is that the NBA, NFL, MLB, and so forth can't do the same thing to keep these unruly fans. Like I remember some years ago in baseball, fans was throwing batteries at the players. I think it was Atlanta Braves. Well, then the Atlanta Braves. I don't know what they call it now, but
It's still Atlanta Braves.
the Atlanta Braves. Who's the team that's the Guardian? Cleveland. The Cleveland Indians. They changed their name to the Guardian. Yeah, but I want to say whomever the two teams was. I know it involved the Atlanta Braves, and they were throwing batteries on the diamond at the players. That's crazy. Like, get these people out of here, man.
Yeah, and that was my main thing right there. Like, yo, at the end of the day, you pay your hard-earned money to come see these people play, and you already have the freedom of speech to say whatever you want to say out your mouth. And the part that I was adding is that people do go outside the lines, bring up your mother, this, that, and the third. So I'm saying, if you get a chance to talk about my worst career days and my personal shit, why are you putting your hands on me? And you feel me? And I feel like the way the league cracks down on players, like I say with Lamar, you crack down on players right away about their actions. You should crack down on these fans right away and let them know this is a privilege to come to this game. Just because you paid doesn't mean you get the right to do whatever you want to do. I think just a little bit to me, the freedom of speech thing is a little bit ran into the hole, because that means a person, if they want to, because of freedom of speech, they can disrespect you at any time they want.
I mean, but that's the world we live in. There's, again, freedom of speech is there for that reason. Whether right or wrong, I didn't say. Let me shift gears because I didn't want to go. I was going to bring up something, but I'll say this. In all seriousness, the freedom of speech thing, it gives you the right to say exactly what you want. It didn't say if it had to be right or wrong. It's unfortunate that people choose the wrong things to say, but nonetheless, people do choose the wrong things to say. So while we can't control what comes out of one's mouth, we do have the option whether we want to subject ourselves to it. That means standing there to feel whatever you feel from them saying it. Again, I'm not saying that they right. Oh yeah, that's why your mother's a whore, whatever. Like, cause they say some ignorant stuff.
Like promise I'm gonna give you. I'm gonna throw you a bone. We're gonna talk about LeBron later, but check this out. I don't like LeBron James, right? I was mad as shit. It was one game they beat the Warriors in the late. You probably seen it. The Lakers was like, LeBron, you bitch ass. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? The game over. And I'm like, I don't even like LeBron. Why are you talking that? But like I just said, man, control yourself.
Thank you for bringing up LeBron, because that's where we're about to go. This has been a real big buzz, and I want to have this topic. Now, to be clear, this conversation gets the white glove treatment. We are definitely going to talk about this with stats and facts. I'm going to segue into something because it's interesting, but a lot of people are in an uproar about it. This is not the GOAT debate. That is not what we're doing. Let me clarify that now. LeBron James and Michael Jordan are both great. Kobe Bryant is great. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar is great. Bill Russell is great. These are all people that people put on their Mount Rushmore, say that they go, all these things. Anybody who picks whomever to be their GOAT, you're all right. You're all right because they all have great careers. This is the thing I want to talk about, and this is where the waters get mucky. You do not have to trash one while bigging up the other, because you miss the greatness of all of them. So recently, the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame just inducted the 2008 Olympic men's basketball team. Members of that team were to include 1, LeBron James, Carmelo Anthony, Chris Paul, the late great Kobe Bean Bryant, Chris Paul, J. Kidd, Dwight Howard, to name a few. On this panel, when they were sitting, social media went nuts with this, because on the panel, there you have LeBron James, who is still an active player, with a Hall of Fame jacket on. And LeBron fans, people who are pro LeBron, were like, you know, he's still inducted into the Hall of Fame while he's still an active player. That automatically makes him the GOAT. While I thought that was humorous, they took that out of context, because then, again, as I just stated, they inducted the 2008 Olympic men's basketball team. That was all members included. Chris Paul is also an active player right now. He was also inducted. So again, I think people just kind of, for their argument, again, they don't put these things into stats and facts. And that's what gets the waters mucked, because the comment section of this particular picture after this, within this post, went on to say things, and it's just like a few like minor quotes about, Michael Jordan could never, this is why he's the GOAT, and blah, 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 woo, woo, woo. I'm just like, people just lost their minds about this. Now, here's my thing. Making the comparison, anybody who says that MJ is the GOAT. Now, for me personally, full transparency, I've been on record also publicly saying that I do believe that LeBron James is now the GOAT. He had to go and get that. I didn't always have that stance. In fact, I didn't change that stance. I'll be totally honest. I didn't change that stance until 2016. Like a lot of people that follow basketball. Now, I'm a football guy, but NBA, typically, like during the Jordan era, I would watch up until 98 until he, left. He returned back to the Wizards and everything. That was just like more nostalgia, and the Wizards weren't exciting to watch as a youth. But the fact is, like, we all watched Michael Jordan. That's a part of his greatness. So we all watched it, but like the Wizards, man, they wasn't shit on PlayStation, and we knew that. Like, we got to be honest about that. So again, I'm not saying that Michael Jordan is not great, but again, LeBron James has done things that Michael Jordan has not done. That is the only thing when you make comparisons, because we can equally point out things that Jordan has done that LeBron hasn't. But that still does not take away from the other man's greatness. Right. Again, when we make the comparison about Kobe Bryant to, I've heard some people be like, yo, LeBron not even on Kobe level. But we've seen their head-to-heads. There have been some things that are just true, and then some things you're just an emotional fan who likes Kobe better than LeBron, and you'll say something that's not true. Because in their head-to-heads, LeBron has that record. That don't mean Kobe didn't play great in those games. You see what I'm saying? Like, people try to switch the narratives to say that the other guy is bad. And as a fan of sports, if you're a fan, yes, be a fan, but be truthful. That's my biggest thing. That's why people like myself exist. That's why people like Fox exist. Because we're sports fans, but we're unapologetic about telling the truth about it. Like he just said, he doesn't like LeBron. But he would never be like, oh, LeBron trash. And he could see the obvious comparison into the fact that, like, damn, Jordan never did do this. But LeBron did this multiple times over. Oh, you know what I mean? Just giving an example. But, like, and there are countless examples of that. But, I mean, like, what's your stance? So, hey, Tony, let's start with you. And because I know that Fox is going to have a mouthful to say on this topic. So I'm going to start with Tony.
So I wanted to have a question about it. It's the Olympic team that's being inducted in the Basketball Hall of Fame.
Yes.
Is that the first time they're doing an Olympic team?
Yes, it's the first time, and that's in my notes to say because I know that's the other reason why. Because boy, I'm sorry.
I want to know what made them come up with that decision to overlook
the Dream Team.
Not just the Dream Team, not even Olympic teams, but overlook players who spent their time in the league and they just get overlooked for an Olympic team. And Olympics have their own awards in itself. So are they going to get another award from the Olympic standards? Like, so.
Well, they already got the ultimate award from the Olympic by winning gold. So that's a very interesting question. Like, that does pose a question why they chose to do that. But
so, it's some players that I would rather seen get a Hall of Fame jersey this year than the Olympic team.
I mean, the jacket?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's a dope point. I mean, you're not wrong. You're definitely not wrong.
Tayshaun Prince, I don't know if he deserved a jacket.
I disagree.
Tayshaun Prince deserves a jacket?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Like, so, again, to your point, I think now, to this point, I think Tayshaun Prince is the wrong example because people forget that he was on that 04 Pistons team that's just beat the Lakers. You know what I mean? Like, Tayshaun Prince, he is a decorated NBA legit all-star. Like, he is one of those guys, when they coined the terminology stretch big, like, he is that. And I don't think people go back and look at his career stats and know that he's a key contributor to his team and the longevity because, again, that wasn't his final stop. But again, majority of his playing years were in Detroit, and he was a key contributor to their success over those years.
So did Mario Chalmers. Is he going to get a jacket?
But Mario Chalmers is a reach now.
But that's the point and the difference. That's the point that I was making.
It's like it's the similarities right there.
But hold on. But that's the point that I was making. Tayshaun Prince is not Mario Chalmers. Mario Chalmers didn't have the career to garner a gold jacket. Like, matter of fact, Mario Chalmers. The only reason anybody really knows your name is because you played with one LeBron James. If we're going to be honest, and that's no disrespect to Mario, but we because if Mario, I will say this, if Mario was on the Lakers and he played with Kobe, that's the only reason we would know his name. But I'm trying to think of somebody that's like not a Kobe or not a LeBron. If Mario played with, say, a Steve Nash in Phoenix, we're not even talking about Mario. That's not even a focal point. If he played as a point guard with Dwight Howard in Orlando, we're not even talking about Mario Chalmers. And again, and that's no disrespect, but I'm just saying, who you play with matters. It matters.
You go. You got
Not good.
Well, first of all, the only thing I'm gonna say is the only disrespect is if you're going to do that team, you have to include the dream team. The reason why I said that, and I'm basing everything because we on this show we basing everything purely on stats and not just what I'm saying how we really feel. And when you go look at stats, the real redeemed team is Michael Jordan and them, because before that, the USA team was getting their ass bust all the time until Michael Jordan and all them did what they did. And Michael Jordan and them went undefeated for years. And then when Michael Jordan and them lost, I mean, not when they lost, when Michael Jordan and them was done, people forget that the next team that came up was the team with Carmelo Anthony, LeBron James, Paul Pierce, Allen Iverson, Stephon Marbury, and we was getting our ass bust for years. And
You leave out an important detail in that, though.
Which part I'm leaving out?
Because, again, the reason why they came up with the dream team, at first they weren't sending pro guys.
That's still my point that I'm saying. No, I'm saying overall, USA, when it came to basketball tournament and the Olympics, we was getting slaughtered until Michael Jordan and them played. And what I'm saying is that I guess we ain't gonna call it a redeemed team, but I'm saying that far as USA, we was getting our ass bust. Then Michael Jordan and them came. We went on them runs, being undefeated. Being on the runs, being undefeated. Then, like I said, we came back around with Melo, LeBron, and them, and we lost. And then that's when we got the real deal with Kobe, LeBron, Melo, Chris Paul, and all these stars that we have now. And everybody that you name or you name on that list, everybody's a first ballot Hall of Famer. I believe everybody on that redeemed team is a Hall of Famer. I'm not mad at it at all. Again, like I said, I literally say I don't like LeBron James. I never said anything about his whining. I know who he is overall, as his stats, and this, that, and the third. And I'm always one of these type of guys where I feel like sometimes our arguments about things be going into the hole a little bit. Even if I was to say LeBron James was the second or third best player in the league of all time. Yo, there's been millions of players in the league, and you talking about you're the third best or the second best, so you're the first out of 1 million players. So that's no slight on you at all. But overall, I don't have a problem with this. As I said, this is how you know I'm not a hater, and I'm speaking fact. This coming from a person who doesn't like LeBron James, the basketball player, and I believe it's well deserved. He did what he had to do. It was if anybody watched that, he did a lot of takeover, like how right now we watch Steph Curry do what he did in Team USA. LeBron James and Kobe was the ones doing it. Actually, all of them was doing it. I never seen something like that before. Dwayne Wade averaging double-digit points on if they could have given a 6-man, Dwayne Wade could have got it. But overall, I'm not mad. Everybody on that team is a first ballot Hall of Fame. They deserve it. I mean, and then on top of that, right, how they talking about the jacket? We see this happen all the time in baseball with guys be making the Hall of Fame and damn near still playing. So, I mean,
you get guys who get snubbed for just simple shit like not liking the media.
Yeah, and if you got a Hall of Fame career, who am I to knock you and hate on you? So, for me, I have no debate on this. He in there.
So, here's why I get upset. Because they center and use these things as pieces like on the chessboard to segue into their argument on why whomever they believe is the GOAT is the GOAT. And I have to bring this up because, again, let's be clear, and I'm reiterating, this is not the actual GOAT debate, but it's just to pour into their greatness. You brought up the point of they can't leave out the dream team. I made this point earlier in terms of it matters who you play. Back in the 80s and 90s, basketball internationally wasn't really a thing. So the dream team did what they were supposed to do and go and beat those guys. When you think of the dream team with Michael, Scotty, Barkley, Ewing, when you name those guys, they did what they were supposed to do internationally. Nobody was supposed to beat them, of course. Now, fast forward to when they come out with this Olympic team, the world has now caught up in basketball. There's talent all over. Look, if you don't believe me, look at the NBA now. Look how many guys that are not from the United States that participate in basketball, and they are all stars.
This is where I had to differ at right here. It did have the same thing. Prime example, like Luka Doncic is a top star in the NBA, but when he goes, I don't know where he from, but when the USC team and all that play each other, he goes to that team. On that team, Luka Doncic is a star. You're not really worried about nobody else on that team.
That's the point I'm making.
And that's what I'm saying right now about the Dream Team. Back in the day, Tony Kukoc was the man overseas.
Name it. Okay, do this, because I got this written down. Outside of Tony Kukoc, internationally from that time that was going against the Dream Team, name me all they foreign stars. Compared to now, name them.
Okay.
Because I bet you won't get past 3. I bet you won't get past 3 because I got them written down here.
Okay, well, I hope you got a Rita Sabonis on there.
That's two.
Okay, I hope you got the guy from the Cleveland Cabinet on there. The center from the Cleveland Cabinet is
What's his name?
he is star. Everybody, you know what I'm talking about. The center that played on the Cleveland Cavaliers with LeBron James. He was the star on the Cavaliers way before LeBron got there.
Jonas Ilgauskas? He came in the league after the Dream Team was already disbanded. You're thinking of Petrovic, the point guard.
Even him.
Those are the only three. These are the three that I got down there were legitimate stars in the NBA. Sabonis was not around in that era. You can look that up too.
All right, but even still, right? You still making my same point. You say how you about to name all those players? All those players you about to name don't play on the same team with each other. Majority of those guys play on different teams in different countries.
That's the point. So for the Dream Team of all those guys that don't play on the same team, they're just better basketball players.
Isn't that the same thing we got?
No, because now the league is caught up. Now you have the likes of people like Giannis, people like Joker, people like
Listen,
Luka. Like you have all these international stars. Did I say Giannis already?
I'm not disagreeing with that, but watch this. I'm going to do exactly what you just said. Name somebody else on Team Greek's team besides Giannis.
Listen, I'm not disagreeing with that point. What I'm saying is there are more on each team. Mexico has none.
Okay.
Spain has multiple. I'm thinking France. France had Rudy Gobert and it was somebody else.
Gasol. Not Gasol.
Is it Gasol? No, I think Gasol is Spain. Gasol is Spain, for sure.
I was thinking Gobert myself.
But Rudy Gobert is definitely the French team. But my thing is this. It's way more international all-stars that actually play in the league now than there were then. So even if it is one, my point is this. You only had one per game to contend with, if that, or one every other game.
I give you that, but it looked like both was doing the same thing. What I mean when I say both doing the same thing, to your point, to be your point, you saying there was less back then. You feel me? And they was
significantly less.
I give you that. And they was going against the whole entire greatest of all time in the NBA. And what I'm saying is, it's the same thing right now. When Luka Doncic played against 2SA, it's going to be Luka Doncic and nobody else versus all of us.
But in international basketball, they are way more skilled than they were then.
Everybody. To me, the scores still look the same. What's the name? Team USA blowing everybody out, and what's the name is blowing everybody out.
Hey, Tony, do me a favor, right? Yeah. Pull up some of these stats and game comparisons, because I'm telling you, it's not the same. Dudes are waste. Again, this is also something that goes into the conversation when they talk about the competition that Jordan faced versus the competition that LeBron faced, or even Kobe. Kobe's a tweener because he literally plays in between Jordan and LeBron's era. He literally plays in between, and if you ask me, when they talk about certain things, when they make comparisons, when they be like, yo, Jordan was the best scorer of all time, I disagree. I honestly think that was Kobe. I think Kobe was the best scorer, the best of the best scorers of all time. So again, I think the conversation all depends on where you go when you want. If you want stats, when you talk about like their comparison, the Olympic team, present day, LeBron James is 40 years old, averages 25.4 points a game, 7.8 rebounds a game, 8.2 assists a game. That's right now at 40. Compared to Michael Jordan's, which was, I'm pretty sure, similar. I'm pretty sure they were similar. My point is this. That don't take away to say that Jordan stopped being great. But again, he wasn't doing as much as LeBron at 40 than LeBron is doing at 40. Because if that's the case, they'd be like, oh, yeah, well, he got first-round exits. Well, LeBron?
I would say if Jordan was playing in this era, he would be a billionaire. Because the advantages that LeBron has is like
What are those advantages?
We already.
The only thing I can think of is what? No hand checking?
The doctors.
The science and the medicine? Yeah.
I was going to say
There's a big difference.
I was going to say the whole totality
the way
of the
they
game.
trained them. Because remember, Jordan even invented a way for him to get back play ready. Doing water aerobics and certain things like
I agree to that one.
Running on the beach. So like.
I agree to those things, Tony, but I'm talking about like actual game. The only real advantage that we look at in today's game, why we can make that argument for Jordan, because I don't disagree with that Jordan will still have a decent average in today's league. The only thing is this, on the opposite end of the floor, we're talking about his offensive problems. Nobody ever speaks on defense. They be like, yeah, he actually was in runners and he won a defensive player of the year. But it's like, yo, he didn't have to play the likes of a James Harden every night. He didn't have to play against the likes of wait,
hold time out. I think we have to do an NBA history check because we disrespected a lot of great shooting guards that played on time. Just because Jordan was better than everybody doesn't mean these guys wasn't great. Clyde Drexler, oh my God, Reggie Miller.
And listen, but Jordan that's the thing. We relegated it to that one time period. No, listen. Fox. A lot of people do in that argument. I'm not disrespecting anybody. Compared to, again, I guess kind of the same thing with the Olympic team comparison. All of those teams did not have guys that were like, quote unquote, the guy. You might have the best player on your team, but it wasn't nobody of like noteworthy. So when we relegated to the finals, all right, in the finals, he played against Clyde Drexler, and who was the next guy on that team that you know of that was good?
Clyde Drexler, I could name that. That whole team was good. Clyde Drexler was good. Terry Porter was good. Buck Williams was good. These guys was putting up the same. Like the thing that's crazy is why I think God should let us all do this. Not to bring all this. We should all revisit back in the day and revisit now, because a lot of things that we seeing now are being the same things done back in the day. It's social media not out there. Can't nobody tell me.
But listen, that's why Jordan gets away. That's why people in the Jordan argument get away with it, because he wasn't a victim of social media. The difference is, if Jordan had a bad night on Tuesday night, you're not going to hear about it in sports news, and you damn sure can't run it back, because there was no ESPN, there was no Twitter, there was no Instagram, there was none of this stuff, YouTube, none of this stuff. So Jordan had people going back to get receipts now where you got to find old footage where it's grainy and everything, or Rex Chapman giving Jordan buckets. You got to go back to find that.
Y'all saying guys like that wasn't good. That was the guys, they was appointed the guys up to get right there.
Bro, hold on. Rex Chapman was not an all-star. Let's not do that. He had a good game against Jordan. The only reason you know about it because it's something that actually happened to Jordan.
I'm just speaking for me. I'm speaking for me.
So you think Rex Chapman? So you thinking for you? So you think Rex Chapman was an all-star?
He made an all-star, and what I was going to say is this.
Stop.
No. This is what I'm saying to get to the point. I wasn't saying. I promise that. Watch this. I'm gonna use one. Monte Ellis was nice as shit. Never made an all-star game. That's my point. Right, what I'm saying right there. Just because you don't make the all-star game or you make one, you feel me? That doesn't make or break who your career is. We're talking about the talent of who you is and who you're going against. And it seems like Michael Jordan is getting basically crucified because of the era that he was on right now.
No, I'm not saying. Listen,
you said it's way more talented now.
It is. Listen, I'm not crucifying him for that, but what I'm saying is this: if he played now, quite obviously, the challenges would be harder. So he would not be able to get away with some of those things.
Nobody even plays defense good right now nowadays.
But here's the thing: people are more athletic. He still has to play defense, doesn't he?
And he was the number one defensive shooting guard for almost damn near 10 years. Offensive first team and offensive defense team every year for 10 years in a row. I don't even think nobody ever did that.
Hey, listen. Although that makes it that way, that's cute. But you got to look at this. A lot of those games, when you go back and look at who the top player on the opposing team was, who was guarding him, it was definitely Scotty. So stop. We always sweep that detail under the rug, though.
Wait, hold on.
They always sweep that detail under the rug.
Hold on. And LeBron James didn't stick the best player every game either. Let's make sure we.
But listen, nobody ever said he was a top defender either. They give Jordan every accolade when we know it's not true.
If you're making a top defensive first team 10 years in a row?
But you want the top defender. That's what I'm saying.
No,
you're the best shooting defender.
Jordan can make the plays that needs to be made. He could stop, he could steal, he can block the ball, he can get the buckets. LeBron, I think people just hope that he's going to do that at that moment because he could do it, but when it counts, it's like it's 50-50. So and then the finals show it.
So this is Rex Chapman. This is career stats I'm reading. He came in 88-89, average 16.9 points. 89-90, 17.5. Basically goes on 15.7, 10, 10.0, 12.4, 12.5, 18.2, 16.2, 14, 13, 15, 12, 6. This is all the way up to 99 to 90. That's his longest career average. What I'm saying is these are his average numbers per his seasons that he played. That guy is not an all-star. That's pretty freaking pedestrian is the point that I'm making. That guy gave Jordan fits on both ends of the floor. Now, I'm not saying it's the end-all be-all and that makes or defines Jordan's career. That's not what I'm saying. But people act like it did not happen only because you didn't see it. That's the point that I make. LeBron James have a bad night, and it's like, oh, he's a bum. He's not a Hall of Famer because he had a bad night against whatever pedestrian guy you want to say. So that's the difference.
I want to know who said that. Whoever said it is an idiot. I want to know who's saying that.
So what? Let's talk about LeBron, and we're gonna move to the next subject if we got some time. With LeBron now having that Hall of Fame jacket, should he ride off in the sunset, or are we gonna watch him, collapse onto his own weight?
I don't think so.
What?
I don't think he's going to collapse. I think he's going to walk away on his own terms. I think he still has a basketball for basketball. I think he's going to take the Vince Carter approach. Like the difference between him and Vince is like he actually has hardware. He's actually done enough, but I think he really has that hunger and that love for the game still at 40 or 41, whenever his birthday was. I mean, but I think he still legitimately has that hunger. As far as regressing to the point where he's going to become like the third and fourth option, I think he's going to realize that and cross that doorstep and get out. That's honestly because like he's unheard of. He's going to go into this 23rd season this year. Like in October, it'll be his 23rd season. So, and right now, and it's crazy that in his 23rd season, he's still a valuable option. But that's a testament to what you were saying earlier: how he takes care of his body, how he eats, so forth and so forth.
He takes a lot of breaks on that court. I've been watching him.
Bro, the leading guys in general, that's the thing now. What's it called? Load management? Like,
no, not just load management. I'm talking about like he'll just sit and just watch them play or do some stuff like, like.
I don't see that. I don't see that.
I want to fact check myself on here. First of all, I was wrong. The reason why I thought Rex Chapman was in the All-Star game, because that's why. Normally, when you're in a dunk contest, you normally are one of the participants in the All-Star game. So I'm going to fact check myself. I was wrong on that one. But to talk about the LeBron James, what we just saying right there, you said, do you think he's going to go on a shield? I mean, to be real, you guys give me probably more explain what you mean when you say going on a shield. I guess
play until you're a bum. Play stay too long.
No, because I took that as play as long as you can on the Lakers to try to win a championship. And if you don't win in these next 3 years, you laid on your shield and gave it all you got. You feel me? Something like that. But I think staying on LA?
No, I don't see them winning the championship in the next 3 years.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I thought what he was saying was stand on your shield, meaning, right now I've done everything. I've broken all the records. I got the championships. I got the gold jacket. I'm a guaranteed Hall of Famer. I do not have to play no more if I don't want to. So I thought when he was saying lay on the shield, like, okay, I got like probably 2 or 3 more seasons left with me. Let's go and put our best foot forward and try to win with the Lakers. Do I think he'll try to do something like that? Yeah, but do I think he's going to be a journeyman going from this team to that team? I mean, it's really on LeBron James. He could do whatever he wants with his life, but I wouldn't think he would do that.
He don't strike me as the type of player.
Yeah.
Now, to be clear, he does not have a Hall of Fame jacket. Let me clarify that again. He does not have a Hall of Fame jacket.
It will come, though.
Oh, yeah, for sure. No question. We're not doubting that. But I'm saying is the United States Olympic men's basketball team of 2008, they were inducted. LeBron James does not have a Hall of Fame jacket because his book is not finished being written. I wanted to say that because, again, that is the narrative that a lot of these pro-Jordan or pro-whoever they running with. That's not the case.
Crazy.
That's not the case. Now, I'll leave this with my final thought on this topic.
I want to end it with one question. So he doesn't have a jacket, so he's not going to get another speech or his own. He's not going to.
He didn't have one. He didn't have one to begin with. This different players got to say about that team. They spoke on that time. That's it. It wasn't like my career was. It wasn't any of that. They just were grateful for their time. Carmelo got the two speeches because he was actually inducted.
And I would say this too. I think all of them is retired except for LeBron. He the only one still in the league.
No, him and Chris Paul.
Chris Paul. Oh, I forgot Chris Paul still with the Spurs. But I mean, like I said, everybody on that team is the first ballot Hall of Fame. It's well deserved because we was getting ever since Jordan and them left, we was getting our ass kicked with all these different teams, USA teams we were sending, and they brought it back. They brought that confidence and that life back. I ain't gonna lie, that was probably one of my favorite USA teams to watch because they was playing.
They were sending swingmen. They were sending guys on the bench like second, like no disrespect to them either. They were sending second tier guys. It'd be like we're gonna send like 3 or 4 stars and then everybody else is second tier guys. Like
I wouldn't even say that because like I said, we lost that shit with Iverson, Carmelo Anthony, and Paul Pierce.
That was a good team.
That was a good team,
bro. For one, that was an Asian team, and that was an off year for the Olympics. That wasn't the actual Olympic basketball team. You know, every year we play in FIBA.
Yeah.
So again, the world team, the FIBA team, is not always your best players.
Oh, because
there's a difference. We're talking about the actual Olympics, the one that come every 4 years, and the first 4 years is in the winter. The next 4 years is in the summer.
The limits I'm talking about. Remember when Carmelo got in trouble with the stops initiative? That's when the Team USA came with we got the bronze. That's the year I'm talking about with Melo, LeBron. That's when LeBron had number 8.
Yeah, that's the World Games. That's what I'm talking about. That's the actual Olympics.
So when you win the bronze, that wasn't.
No, what I'm saying is like, yeah, they still have medal placements. That's the award. It's not like, the Lombardi or whatever. That's the award, but it wasn't the national Olympic. You know what I mean? That was just the world team.
Okay.
Like the Olympic basketball team, when you put it as, and again, that's no disrespect because I don't want people always take what you say and try to twist it for their narrative. I'm not saying these guys are scrubs or bums. Clearly, they made it to the NBA off their own merit and they worked hard to get there and they earned what they got. But what I'm saying is this. Look at this last installment of the United States Olympic basketball team with Steph, Braun, Bam, all the guys that were on that team. Like those are your cream of the crop talents in the league at every position.
Now, ain't this every 4 years? I want to make sure I'm correct, right?
Every 4, yes.
Yeah, so the 2024 USA Olympic team, we got bronze. Yeah.
2024?
My bad, 2004. That was the Olympic Games. Yeah, I'm looking at it right now. That was the Olympic Games. We lost to Greece and got the bronze. I'm looking at it.
Okay.
Yeah, but I mean, I ain't gonna lie. To be real, I think we're gonna be trash after this. After what we just did with Steph and them, I think Team USA we're gonna be trash after this.
No, I don't know.
The best. Now I'm not saying no argument with you, but right now, if you be technical, not name LeBron James, if you go look at who the best players in the league is, all of them international.
No, I think give Ja Morant the ball and Anthony Edwards. We're gonna get a bit.
All right, that's 2, right? Now go ahead and name everybody else in the league.
I tell them pick the players.
Everybody else in the league. Giannis.
I'm gonna say this.
Shea. You just named Luka. The dude off of Denver. That's all Rafe.
Yeah, that's 4 teams. I mean, that's
No, I'm saying the best players right now in the league is the first time I've ever seen is international players. That's what I'm saying to me.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like the NBA team, the USA team, the future's gonna be trash. I think somebody always drops a nugget and comes out and develops and turns into pure gold like they do. And that's their brand.
You might be on something with Anthony Edwards though. He might be the goal.
Yeah.
I don't like Anthony Edwards. He's not that player, but he makes
too cocky a little bit, but I like it.
He makes some bad off the court.
My final thought with this topic, and we're gonna move on to the next thing. Respect the greatness of these players, even if you don't like them. Again, I would never sit here and say that Michael Jeffrey Jordan is trash or was ever trash. There were things that he fell short. All the greats had shortcomings, is basically what I'm saying.
Mm-hmm.
Kobe had shortcomings. Braun got shortcomings. Jordan had shortcomings. Bill Russell, I'm sure, had shortcomings. Whomever you name as the GOAT, you do not have to disrespect the greatness of the other players to prop your guy up. That's my only thought on that. I think that's terrible for sports. I'm 39. I've seen both careers. They both played wonderfully, had their shortcomings, but they were still great in their own right.
Can I add this one thing? You're going to like it. This is why I have them two just at the top of this because, first of all, I don't think Michael Jordan could have did what LeBron James did. That's where you might debate me. I don't think Michael Jordan could do what LeBron James. LeBron about to go on 21 years. And I don't think LeBron... 23. And that's another thing. I don't think Michael Jordan could do that. And I don't think LeBron James is going to do what Michael did. Retire for 2 or 3 years and then come back. He's
older. He can't do it.
No, what I'm saying is that's 2 great things. For you to take off for years and then come back and still be one of the best players in the league, Michael Jordan, and then for LeBron James clearly has been the best player in the league. If LeBron playing 23, I would say about 17 to 18 years LeBron.
One was in their prime, one wasn't. That's different. I don't want to have this conversation because, again, these conversations definitely do get mucky. We will definitely revisit this. But fourth quarter, this is interesting. So, football heavy. Patrick Mahomes in week 1, they were playing the Los Angeles Chargers.
Yes, sir.
That was a play. I don't know if anybody's familiar with Mark Schlereth. I think he's a dope analyst. He used to play for the Denver Broncos. I like his uncut, unfiltered delivery on things. And this is something that we talk about as football players. Me and Foxton talk about this plenty of times on how, like, the game is so soft and they give certain dudes a pass to do certain things. In game 1, there was a play. Patrick Mahomes streaking down the sideline, slows down and fears that he's giving himself up. The safety number 26 is coming. Dante Jackson is coming to deliver the potential blow to either push him out of bounds or just to make sure he gets out of bounds. Patrick Mahomes lowers his shoulders and blows him up. Mark Schlereth, direct quote, says, slowing down and lowering your shoulder and delivering a blow to a DB is bullshit. If I'm the Chargers, I'm saying 15, Patrick Mahomes, is fair game. Blow his ass up. That's a direct quote from Mark Schlereth, and I, for one, agree with him. The game has gotten so soft where in order to get a quarterback sack, you first have to put a bib on him, put him over his shoulder, burp him, change the diaper, and lay him down gently. We need to get away from that. Like, I just feel like so many things are taken away from the game, so many things for the defense anyway. They give so many rules to the offense that favor the offense because they want to see more high-scoring games or for whatever their reasoning is. But again, you punish one side of the ball. And me personally, being a defender, yes, I've played on the offensive side of the ball, but being a defender is so difficult now because everybody doesn't get that same protection. They say, things like a defensive receiver, I'm all for player safety, but there's some things that, for instance, the route, and you know this very well, used to call it the bang eight route when a receiver runs to the middle of the field, right where the safety is. It's the reason why they call it the bang eight. You're probably going to get your face knocked off.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? You had to be a different and special type of receiver to go and get that ball. You had to be one of them guys. You had to be one of them ones. That's not a thing anymore because now they got all these defensive receivers. If it's a chance for you to catch the ball, try not to catch it. But, there's a lot of alligators running around the league. Y'all know what that means. There's a lot of alligators running around the league. They don't want that. That's not the route that I'm signing up to run. You know what I mean? But as it pertains to quarterbacks specifically, they get all the – well, no. That short list, the Patrick Mahomes of the world, the Joe Burrows of the world, maybe even on occasion the Josh Allen, because Josh Allen is so much bigger than everybody else. But, because the fastest person on the field, if he's on the field, is Lamar Jackson, he's not getting that call. Because, first of all, you can take the best angle. He going to outrun you. But if he gets clobbered, don't look for the flag even unless it's just something totally egregious. But if you breathe in the wrong direction of Patrick Mahomes, you're going to get that flag. And I want to know, because he's the poster boy, we know why that is. That's just the low-hanging fruit. We know why that is. He's definitely the poster boy when it comes down to quarterbacks, the golden boy era, whatever the image and all that kind of stuff. We know why that is. Mm-hmm. But the thing I want to know is, do you think it changes the complexion of football if we don't allow these guys to get these calls?
Do I think it changed? I would say, yeah, it's changed because I believe, I don't know if you saw this. It was a game a couple years ago where Geno Smith won the game against my Giants because what you said, they were worried about falling on him too hard. So he tackled him enough, but he broke the tackle and threw a first down. And of course, they wound up losing the game. I seen Patrick Mahomes do this last year where he looked like he was getting ready to give himself up, and the DB backed off, and then he ran a little bit more and got the first down. So to me, it's football. Go full speed. As you would say as a coach, keep going until the whistle blows. Keep going until the play is there. So you keep on going, and then you got to protect yourself like that. While you loosen your body up, he gave you all his might. And that happened a couple years ago when the Chiefs went to the Super Bowl again. He ran a cornerback over at the goal line on the same thing. So to me, you feel me? Put my Jack coach's hat on. I'm telling my DBs, my linebackers, my linemen, go full speed every time and knock them out. We not giving up unless he do that. Unless he slides. You feel me? And I mean, we're talking about slide. I'm not talking about that fake, unless he slides on the ground like Justin Herbert did, as we saw. Unless he do a Joe Flacco or something like that, then yeah. Other than that, nah, I think that shouldn't be a part of the game.
How about you?
I think what's going on is that the league has too many bosses and too many people in there that's making money and profiting. Some of these rules came from the sports book, obviously. They're trying to protect their players, protect what's the money, and it's making the game just bad and disgusting. Because when you're telling the players don't go full speed or don't do certain things,
to this player though, they're specifying it is evident. To quarterbacks, that's wild.
And they get to pick and choose who is their big ticket guys because they got to protect the money, And with Pat Mahomes, some people take advantage of the rules and they know they're the favorite, so they play on it. And I think he plays on it. Brady and Manning didn't play on it as much as Mahomes do, but, it's been going on for a while.
Absolutely. I would say this. Y'all know the Trump supporters that got them hats, Make America Great Again. I saw a dope football hat. It says Make Football Violent Again. I want one of them hats so bad. Because again, when you see stuff like that, it disgusts me. It disgusts me because here's my thing. As a defender, I have to make a living too. There was some years ago, the Titans were playing the Pittsburgh Steelers, and the play before, when they were cracking down on with the Brady rules, you know what I mean? He couldn't go as hard at quarterback. So Vince Young scampered, boom, boom, boom. Oh no, it wasn't the play before. It was the week before against another team. Some defenders had Vince Young.
That was my Giants.
They had Vince Young bottled up. Vince Young gets out because they didn't want to mess him up. He throws a touchdown or first down. He got a first down.
Yep.
And they felt like they should have been able to rough him up a little bit, get him. But because, Vince Young was big, we know this from Vince Young. Fast forward, they played that same season. They played the Pittsburgh Steelers. And we all know the infamous hit where James Harrison and Troy Polamalu got Vince Young. And they make him hit a whole flip, and they put him down hard.
Like a wrestling move.
Yeah. Now, here's my thing. I think the Pittsburgh Steelers defense got it right because you're supposed to play fourth quarter. Whatever fines I'm going to get, give me those fines. I will happily take those fines. But my thing is the league has to think from a business model. It's like this. It's only on one side. We want to see high-scoring games. Do we really? Because we got defenders that we like too. I mean, shit, we just say Michael Parsons go to Green Bay and making a huge impact. And he's not being nice about it. He's not being nice about it. His first 2 outings, he aggressively hunted Jared Goff and put Jared Goff down. He aggressively hunted Jaden Daniels and put Jaden Daniels down. Like, he's doing this. But again, he has a different old school football mindset, like quarterback or not. My job is to get you a neutralizer. Now, that also goes to the point that I just made. Jaden Daniels got to earn your stripes. He's a rookie. Do I think at least one of those plays on Jaden Daniels was a little bit too much? Absolutely. But did he get the flag? Absolutely not. That's the difference in the two. So again, if you're going to protect players, protect them all and make it consistent across the board. It'd be one thing if you was doing this for Jaden Daniels as well as Patrick Mahomes, but you're not.
Mm-hmm.
And the thing is, what you're saying is, I want to just know, why is that a thing in sports, period? They do the same thing in the NBA. LeBron James going to get this call, but just because John Morant been in the league for 2 years. I don't even know why that's a thing. Because you're not in the league long enough, you don't get the same calls that veterans get. That just, we had to talk about that another day.
Yeah. But I do think, like I said, it's a terrible thing. I mean, we saw it last year in the playoffs when the Texans took on the Chiefs. Will Anderson was on his ass. He got like 2 penalties in that game that was costly field position. Yeah, like 2 costly penalties in possessions where they were stopping the Chiefs.
Yeah.
So again, I just feel like that is disgusting, and we need to get back to old school football again. You know what? That's my word. Popping up, coming to an episode near you, you're going to see that hat. Coach Jackson's going to find that hat. Make football violent again. I am lobbying for that. Hashtag that in the comments. Make football violent again. I mean that wholeheartedly. So we're going to get to, this is my final rant. I'm going to get into my yes, love moment because I greatly appreciate the time spent with you guys, and we're getting ready to wrap this up. And thank y'all too for indulging me with this stuff. Again, it's football season, so a lot of stuff is going to be football heavy. I just talked about whatever news stories pop up. Things that kind of pique my interest, and I'm glad for y'all having feedback. And I'm saying this as a shot to all you average fans of any sport. Do your homework. Know what you're talking about before you come trying to debate with one of us. I don't like average fans. Typical thing. You're more than willing to root for whomever you want. You can root for whomever you want. That is your God-given right. You can be a fan of whatever team you like. That is your God-given right. But the second you try to venture off into the lane to talk to somebody who's done it, who knows more than you. If it's Jack, I'm simply going to tell you, shut your mouth and walk in the opposite direction of me, because you're going to lose that debate. Seriously. So thank you guys for tuning in as always. And this week's Yes Love moment, I am going to shout out the Kenwood football team. Wacky day, to say the least. This past Friday, went to Long Reach. We got the dub. I don't want to jab at Long Reach, but I would just say it was some less than satisfactory circumstances, but we got the win. We beat that ass. Guys, we got work on Monday, but the victory was all that counts. Shouts out to the varsity. They got to go to Long Reach to handle business and finish the job on Monday. So, to you guys and all the young athletes out there that had games this past weekend, got your victories, even in your losses, I hope you learned something. Coach Jack says to you, yes, Lord. So, cut and paste moment. Just jumping out. I'm a Ravens fan, so it's going to hurt me to talk about this shit. Listen, we lost to the Buffalo Bills by 1 point, 40-41. So many things to tackle in this thing, why that went wrong. I'm going to let Fox start this off so I can get my shit together.
A couple things that I got from this. I feel like I'm one of these type of guys where I'm like, when it comes to these blown leads, once again with the Ravens, I think everybody should take full accountability. I believe a lot of responsibility is on the coaches because you're the ones calling the plays, and you're also the ones who put that personnel out there. But also at the same time, I got to put pressure on to the players as well, because John Harbaugh didn't fumble the ball with a couple minutes left. Now, he may fumble a couple things where not paying attention to the clock management. We came down to the end of the first half where the Bills was able to get a field goal. And he also, to me, in my opinion, I'm just going to speak for me, who picked up Ravens to go to the Super Bowl every year. I feel like he should have went for it on 4th and 3. At that time, you should have saw that game, your best defense was your offense. The Ravens defense wasn't stopping Josh Allen at all. Both quarterbacks were going up and down the field on each other, period. I think this was the highest scoring game out of all the games last week that came out. Probably the next closest was the Steelers and Jets game. Lamar Jackson played phenomenal, played fantastic. He did everything he was supposed to do across the board, from running the ball, passing the ball, got the receivers involved. The only thing I would probably had to take bad from this game right here, is that I would love to see Andrew step up a little bit more, but defenses have to do their job out there. But overall, I believe this game goes on both parties. You got to hold that ball, Derrick Henry. You clearly are the first or second best running back in the league. And defense, you got to hold them leads. You got to make them tackles. You got to cover. You can't rely on Lamar Jackson the whole entire game. But as far as John Harbaugh's situation, you got to let your offense be your defense when you can't stop Josh Allen at all.
So let me say this. I don't make excuses for players because players have to go out and execute, but I do give grace. Derrick Henry doesn't put the ball on the carpet. And as you can see when you go and look at that replay, Ed Oliver stripped him. That's strong man on strong man. Ed Oliver just won that when he put the ball on the carpet. However, that is not the end-all, be-all to why we lose that game. Now, to your point, I wholeheartedly agree with you in terms of coaches have to coach and put you in a position to win, to thrive. And Harbaugh in total, because he's the head guy, you have to be able to pull the plug. Now, I do know this about my team. Our head coach is a great weakness for us. He calls timeouts at the worst times. There was nothing he could have did to end out the second half because the Bills did have the ball. So there was nothing he could have did. Calling a timeout would have gave them more time. So, yeah, just let it run out. They got to literally point one on the clock, which gave them that second to go ahead and kick the field goal to be up in that game. They don't have that, then maybe we do win that game because there were other plays that were made in the second half, but you go debate that with your mom. In terms of that stat line, Lamar Jackson, 14 of 19, 209, 2 touchdowns, 6 carries, 70 yards. Derrick Henry, 169, he had 100 yards in 1 quarter of football. Let's put that out there. He averaged 9.4 yards per carry with 2 touchdowns. Listen to me. Your average was 9.4 yards a carry. 4th and 3, you only need 3 yards. Now, 2 things that I have wrong with that, and this is where I don't say this is Harbaugh. This is 100% on top. Monken, the offensive coordinator. 4th and 3, I am giving the ball to Henry, or I'm going to spread them out because I have the best creator of offense wearing number 8. I'm going to spread them out, and we're going to get these 3 yards. Everybody in the stadium knows where the ball is going in 1 or 2 places. It's going to go to Henry or it's going to go to Lamar. My thing is this. Because you don't know and you got to play it honest, we finna get this 3 yards and end this game out. At 4th and 3, with a minute left, I am not giving Josh Allen the ball back. That is on top Monken, 100%. Players have to execute. Absolutely. I'm not taking that away. But again, we had 2 squandered drives because if y'all also remember late in the 3rd and early in the 4th, we squandered 2 drives where we had to punt the ball back to them and they turned it into points. So my thing is this. Todd Monken, what were you doing? What were you thinking? You needed to get it together. You definitely needed to get it together. So I think my takeaway from that in terms of, how we look then, now. Now, full transparency. This is before, we're recording this before we're actually playing Cleveland. So we can't take this into Cleveland. So by this point, when you see this, Cleveland has already played, might I add, and gotten their asses whipped. I'm sure that's going to happen. And gotten their asses whipped. So count that as my prediction. So I think the offense is going to be much different. Not to mention it's other things in play, but I don't want to go into that. I just think my takeaway is defensively also Zach Orr gets some blame as well because we never checked out of zone. There were some things where we could have manned up and done an excellent job, but he never gave us that chance to. And I think as far as the veterans, they get blamed. So guys like Roquan, guys like Jair should have been saying, yo, we need to man up because Jair looked pedestrian out there. Like, he really did.
Yes,
Like, I think he made, like, one legit play where it was like, yo, good, that's normal Jair. And everything else was, like, kind of confused. So everybody, you can make all the excuses you want and say that, oh, they really didn't have much of a training camp or they didn't perform. Like, all those things are good. I do take all those things into consideration. But at the end of the day, you're a pro. Take care of it. Point blank, period. That's how that's supposed to go. So that, along with, like, to me, I don't think clock management was as big a thing as everybody was making it, only because our offense was, like, literally scoring at will. Like, we was running up and down the field, and they couldn't stop it. So the clock favored us to keep running while we're still scoring. But some people only base it, and then this is the thing. Now, this is for my football people out there. If you actually play football, then you understand what I'm saying. Clock management is not a thing unless it's a close game. If you're blowing them out, all your job is to keep your foot on the gas and continue to score. That's your only job. You don't have to keep calling timeouts because you want that clock to keep going so you can hurry up and get the hell up out of there. So, again, people are only relegating it to what happened in the 4th quarter. Now, because they were climbing back into it, now that's where I blame Zach Orr for not changing the defense because they were getting closer. Now, Metabike, you guys weren't getting home. Metabike in the D-line. And I call Beaks out specifically because you are our all-pro on the D-line. You are our all-pro. Listen, Josh Allen was supposed to smell your breath all night. Point blank period. He was supposed to smell your breath all night. I do give credit where credit is due to Buffalo's offensive line. But the center and the 2 guards are not all pros. Point blank period. Last year, and I'll say this, and you can argue with your mother. Josh Allen won an MVP because of y'all. Because again, if you let the media tell it, he didn't have a team around him. He did more with less. That's what they said. They had one all-pro, and that's Dawkins, and he plays left tackle. So you didn't have an all-pro in your O-line. So Beats, you have to win that. You have to win that one-on-one. You have to beat that. Point blank period. So in terms of the secondary, if I had to give them a grade, I'm definitely giving them a C. Minus. C minus. I have to. Because again, early in the game, there were plays where we definitely neutralized and made it a no-fly zone, just being in the right place. Nobody did anything like spectacular to stand out. It was like, I'm in the right place at the right time. Now, there were some legit plays made by one Kyle Hamilton. Again, our all-pro. He stepped up when needed early, but as the game went on, our secondary definitely regressed. That is to include Kyle Hamilton.
Are you giving them that grade off of the defense that was put out there? Or the way they played?
And
in totality, definitely. In totality, yes. Because I didn't want to penalize the guys that stepped up like Kyle Hamilton, like I just mentioned, who was doing his job, but then his counterparts around him was just like laying the egg. So, yeah.
And you mentioned Josh Allen is the MVP. Did he look like the MVP during that game versus the one that they said should have been the MVP?
Yes. Be clear, because I'm not going to do that either. Josh Allen looked like an MVP, but so did Lamar. Because we're not going to put this on Lamar. Because again, I say this: Lamar is chained to what the offensive. Anybody that knows me can publicly put me on record. Go back and check any of my social media feeds when I would talk about the Baltimore Ravens offense. He's always chained to his offensive coordinator. That relationship between quarterback and offensive coordinator means a whole lot. The problem with the Ravens is we don't go get the offensive coordinator that's gonna come in here and slay the dragon lights out. So we don't go get the likes of a Cliff Kingsbury. We don't go get that guy. We go get the guy that won a college national championship. That's not a shot at Todd Monken because I actually like Todd Monken. But again, sometimes he gets confused and still thinks he's in the NCAA. Like you 3 years in, bro. Hey, throw them dice on the table and let's take these chances. Stop being so conservative. That's my issue. So again, Lamar Jackson looked like an MVP for what he is chained to. He had to go with what Monken called.
Okay. So what about the coaching staff? Did you think they got out-coached that game, or were the players outplayed?
Combination of both, because again, I'm not going to say everybody played bad, because again, in that game, we was a runaway freight train. The offensive line blocks A1, creating truck-sized holes for an actual truck to run through it, and Derrick Henry did beautifully in the run game. We even had some short passes where they got Zay involved early. I don't know why we went away from that as well. Like, that's beyond me. Fox just mentioned it a moment ago in terms of with Andrews. Like, why do we go away from Andrews? You know what I mean? Like, and if I'm being honest, I get it. We have to work Andrews back into the fold. I understand that to a degree, but not having Likely, that is the hot hand. Now, I don't want to jump out there and say that we lost faith in him because of the last time that we played Buffalo, because that game was not this game. There's a whole different set of circumstances. However, and if I'm being honest, I'm really mad because I started Andrews on my fantasy team. If I'm really being honest, because I mean we didn't. I started him on my fantasy team, but the one thing ain't got nothing to do with the other. What I'm saying is this: there were times where I felt like we could have utilized him more. Not for the fantasy thing. I was just saying that because I'm being funny. But there were times in the game where I felt like we definitely could have used him according to what the Buffalo defense was giving him, and we just chose not to go with it, and then we squandered things in those possessions. So again, I think when you come down to it, like, come on now, Taylor Rapp.
Okay, and one last thing. Bounce off a question that we asked in the previous episode. How would Coach Jack recover our bounce back from this game, or what's your coach's
adjustment? Well, for one, I'm definitely going to stick with the run game because they say do what brought you to the dance. I'm definitely sticking with the run game and the short pass game. I'm really not about the whole sexy eye-popping stats. 300 yards pass and 400 yards pass, I could really care less. If it's not broke, don't fix it. You guys were running the ball. Again, get creative. I definitely would have added some more imagination to the offense, meaning throw in the wrinkle of not just saying we're going to stick with this. It's 4th and 3. Now, look, let's get cute and give Josh Allen the ball back. Absolutely not. At 4th and 3, the first adjustment I'm making is we're going for it and we're keeping that possession. We're keeping it on the ground. Even if you spread it out, I'm going 4 wides. Lamar, do what it is you do. If you see the opening and it's actually there, now here's the thing. Losing that, I can take the loss if we actually tried. We just flat out went for a punt. We didn't try. 4th and 3. Your average was 9.4 running the ball with one player. We didn't even make the attempt. So my adjustments there, I would definitely add wrinkles to the offense, things that an all-pro would know. Obviously, nothing crazy that's not actually in there. Make those adjustments. That's the first thing. Definitely would have stepped to the run heavy more, and utilize the pass when needed. And if I'm Zach Orr, I'm definitely switching up. We're going to man this thing up because you as an individual is much better than him as an individual. I'm sorry, you guys can't work a tandem like this, so man up and let's work instinctually within our scheme. So those are the 3 main things that stick out that I would have made the adjustment on.
Okay.
To me, I would just like to add this. Anytime Likely is out, you find a way to get the ball to Rashad Bateman even. It's even 1-2 option. You find the ball to get to Rashad Bateman even more, or these other guys even more, or these guys just had to step up and be better players because there's no way that we talk about this in sports all the time. When one person go down, the next person for to step up. We ain't got Isaiah Likely, who definitely probably the second best receiver on the team here, tight end. Rashad Bateman got to have more catches than 2 catches for 10 yards. That's just me. So that's what I just say. Get him more involved if you want to lose Likely out there.
So, Baltimore local hype. So in this platform, we like to shout out anything positive and great that's going on, not just in the world of sports. Although this is a space for sports, anybody that contributes to that makes it better. First thing I want to shout out Coach Vega and all his artistry skills. I've been getting a lot of feedback about the intro theme, and this is episode 3, so it's still booming. Coach Vega, keep doing your thing. Salutes to you, sir. Second, shouts out to Stitch and Press, this wonderful hat that I made. Shouts out to Mr. Marshall, Q, and the staff over there at Stitch and Press for all the great work they do, all the embroidery and pressing. Reach out to them. We will get their information out to you in the comment section. But shouts out to them. Has my signature on the back. Coach Jack, Blood, Sweat, and Tears. Y'all hear that in the intro song also. Listen, go to Stitch and Press and support the business. Last but certainly not least, shouts out to the mighty Kenwood Bluebirds. Even though I'm mad with y'all, and y'all know I'm mad with y'all, we got that dub. Hey, shouts out to my guys. Sean Rose, awesome job running the ball yesterday, sir. Definitely, I want to shout out Jermaine. Jermaine, that's my knucklehead, my hard head. This guy always gets on my last nerve, but that kid definitely shows up, certified baller. Shouts out Zayden, quarter tutty, and double coverage. Kid's definitely a dog. He's just coming back from a little sickness, but he played his ass off, so salute to you, sir. And last but not least, shouts out to my quarterback, Braylon Holloman, 2-sport athlete for Kenwood. Great student, great story. I'm proud of that young man. So salutes to you guys, and let's keep working.
All right. For me, when it comes down to local, I love my city, Baltimore. No matter how much I talk about I want to move, I love my city, Baltimore. So first, I got to give a shout out to Dos Migos making all this possible. Definitely got to give a shout out to the local, what's happening in sports with Coach Jack. Shout out to my man, Big Bruce, what we got going over there, TLSN Sports Talk over there. Shout out to Big Bruce over there. Far as when it comes down to Baltimore athletes, I want everybody to be the greatest at what they are doing. We're no matter what school, from Dunbar, Poly to Holly, Kenwood, if you're in the boxing, if you're in the basketball, we are here to support you. We want to know more about you. If you have any links, any stats that you want us to talk about on the show, send them here. We will talk about it. We will boost you up. We are about Baltimore, supporting Baltimore love. We don't just have to support the Terps and the Baltimore Ravens. We support you, the actual city people. And then last but not least, man, I got to give a shout out to my man, Dante Moo, always supplying the gear with the weather department, man. He has a variety of different things as far as hats, shirts. They on the way. $25 for each hats. Better designs, probably $30 on up, but it's definitely affordable. Come out and support. He's doing a lovely thing for the city of Baltimore. We all doing a lovely thing for the city of Baltimore. So that's what I want to give my shout out to.
Listen, rolling out of this local hype, we greatly appreciate the support, but we also give that same support to others. I admonish you, anybody that views this, if you hear my voice, in the comment, put the links down to those boxing gyms, those high schools. Send us the scores. Give your shout outs to those students. We want to give them the recognition they deserve. It is so many dope people out here in the city.
Sure.
So please, man, please, sir, every young man, every young lady, whatever you do. Listen, the students themselves, I know my students do. They hit me up all the time and they get on my nerves. That's why I shout them out so much. I love what I do. But listen, shout them out. Give them their recognition. They deserve it. Give it to them, y'all. So put in the comments under here, those stores, those brands, those schools, whatever you got going on, put it in here. We will shout them out. We read them comments. Coach Jack be in them comments. I be in them comments. So peace and love, y'all.